What is going on, everyone? This is Cedric Sky Seti.
I'm Becky.
And many of you guys have enjoyed our last video where we were talking about how we met. And today we figured we would give you the continuation because a lot of you guys have asked for it. And we figured why not? Because from the time that I guess we left off in the last video up until I guess a couple of months later, a lot has sort of transpired to get us to where we are today.
Nice word use, yeah.
Transpired.
Transpired.
Was that the right context?
Yeah, you used it nice. It was really great. Okay, yeah, so I just watched our old video, the one we did with part 1, to figure out where we left off, and it seems it was right after you had been a guest on the Happy Project.
Yeah.
To do the interview, and then we did that cafe hunt together. Our friend Alex was taking the photos, and we had those beautiful photos. So at this time, you were still living in Daejeon. You were far, far,
It was
far.
about like 2-hour drive south of Seoul.
Yeah, and you would take the subway. You take the train, right?
Yeah,
You would take the
KTX.
train and come on up to Seoul. I was living in Seoul, in the best neighborhood in the world, and so I guess the question now after that cafe hunt was, are we gonna see each other ever again?
Wow, so dramatic. All right, so at the time, I was working on a project here in Seoul with a couple of guys, and it was a studio project. We were setting up a studio at the time, and so that's why I would come up most weekends from Daejeon to Seoul to just help set that up, and that plays a pretty big role in, I guess, what really began to take off our relationship. And so after the Happy Project interview, like that day, we didn't really like communicate, I don't think.
No, not really.
much,
Yeah,
right?
I think you liked some of my photos on Instagram, for example. I definitely went through and didn't like all of them.
That'd be creepy.
I looked through all of them. And you know what a little trick is?
What?
You also look at your tagged photos.
What do you mean?
You know you have on
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
you look at
So you looked at my tag
the
photos?
photos that people tag you in.
Right.
Because I was like, you can't curate that. Like, that's who you are. And so I went and I found all of those, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was quite nice. So I was watching your stuff. Oh, okay. And then I distinctly remember this. You did this IG stories thing.
Yeah.
Where you were answering questions. You did like, ask me anything, like those IG story questions. So people were asking you a bunch of questions. And then I was just reading through them, as I do with everyone's Instagram stories. And somebody had asked, would you ever date half Korean?
Yeah.
And you replied with like, would I ever date a half Korean? Something, you're like, but yes. And you did like the yes. I screenshotted that IG story because I don't know why. I liked it.
Absolutely. Yes, I would. I would really prefer her to be connected to the Korean culture, and I have my reasons for that, but yes.
I thought it was really cute.
Okay, so you liked my answer or you liked me?
I liked. Don't put me on the spot here.
Well, I mean, that's kind of weird for you to screenshot someone's story.
I thought it was really cute, and I honestly don't know why. I just kept it, and I still have it because I thought it was, I don't know, nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you could see yourself
But
in my answer.
I had the feeling you said that for me. Is that true?
Maybe.
I had a feeling.
Actually, I did. I did. I was actually at that point, because I already knew I liked her. Remember, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm really feeling this girl. So I'm like, okay, how can I low key? Because my strategy with Becky was to low key slip in.
Don't
right?
scare me away.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be like, yo, let's go out.
I was
had to,
extremely
slip in.
skittish too. You did the right thing because if you had come in strong, probably I would just cut.
Right.
And leave.
Yeah. So I wanted to just like drop hints and stuff. I guess I did that through social media mostly. But I think the pivotal part of our story was going back to the studio project that I was working on. At the time, you were looking for a studio.
To
remember?
film in. Yeah, we needed a place to film one of our videos, and I knew you had mentioned the studio, and so I just thought like, you know what? I just asked like, hey, can I come by and see like what the studio looks like, how much it is, see if it's suitable for us. So I just, shot you that message. And
That was a Saturday night.
Oh yeah, so Sunday morning, you said you could come up Sunday morning.
Right. Now, the funny thing is someone needed to let her in the studio so that she could like see it. And, there's 4 of us, mind you. And Yeah.
And any 4 of them, the other 3 whom live in Seoul, could have let me see.
Right.
The studio.
Right. So she's the one that texted me about the studio, and instead of me, you know, contacting one of my boys like, hey, can you let Becky in the studio and show her around? I was like, yeah, I will show you around. I will make sure that I give you a proper tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't think that weekend I was planning on coming up to Seoul. And so anyways, early morning on a Sunday, I think I took the bus that day, like very early to meet you. I think it was at 10. I believe it was at 10 a.m. And I opened up the studio and gave you the tour.
And one of the other guys was there already.
Yeah, he was probably thinking like, what? Right. Yeah, so we showed her the studio, and I remember she was being all professional, like, oh, okay.
Very nice.
From there, the tour was over. I'm like, oh crap, it's done. What do I do now?
What am I doing here?
Yeah, and I think you had somewhere to be after.
Yeah.
But then you invited me to join you.
That's right.
And I was like, oh, heck yeah.
So there are a couple of other instances similar like this on Sunday. There was a church that I would just keep inviting you to, just because for me it was a great place of community and friends, and you were new in Seoul, you know, and I figured like, oh, maybe we can do some friends.
I wasn't even in Seoul yet.
Yeah, you weren't even in Seoul. And so I was just telling you like, hey, I go to cafes nearby my church in the morning to do like some cafe hunts and to work and hang out there. And why don't you just join me one morning? Why don't we just hang out in the cafe before I go to church? And so you said, okay. And I figured like it was no skin off your nose. Like it'll be quite easy just to come in. But I guess you were making your way all the way up from Daejeon just to come meet me in cafes on Sunday morning.
That's true. That's very true. So so I think almost every Sunday after that, now this is January time frame, we would meet up on Sunday mornings and just hang out. And we would literally just sit in the cafes and talk.
And just talk.
Yeah,
the first
we
time
would
we
talk for
talked
hours.
from 10 a.m. until 4.
Yeah, and I still have pictures from that day because I brought my camera and you took pictures of me.
I did.
Yeah, so
you let me use your camera to take your photos, and I loved it.
and
I have those photos. I love those pictures. I love them.
That was during the man bun days.
Oh, and then you posted one of those photos I took of you on the Instagram.
I did.
Remember that friend I mentioned in the first video who I had said I could see myself dating this guy. Remember I had said it to her? Right after you posted it on Instagram, she screenshots it, messages me, and goes, ooh la la. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, doesn't have to mean anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, our relationship really started to develop in the cafes because we would talk for hours and it was easy to talk to her. It was fun to talk to her. She, as you guys know, is very articulate and very thought-provoking, so she's able to. Is that a good way to
provocative.
Yeah, she's able to have like really good conversations, and so I remember after the first couple of meetings, like she's telling me things about her life, like her past, like high school, college, you know, as we're just like learning about each other.
Yeah.
And one thing that you don't know, even to this day, and I'm just gonna reveal it to the world, is I would take notes on some of the things that you would tell me.
What?
I still have it.
What?
In my phone. Yeah, I would take notes just like on key things that you told me. That way I can remember.
Joking.
No, I have it in my phone. And so like a lot of things are like embarrassing moments that you didn't want me to tell me.
What?
But I wrote them down.
What? Like what? Like what?
I'll say this: Blockbuster.
Oh!
She told me a very embarrassing story that I will not put her on blast
Why
here.
did you write those down?
Well, I just wanted to like remember them. You know what I mean? I know it sounds weird and very creepy now that
when did you take these notes? I don't remember.
This is like
I don't remember you taking
during
them.
that time.
Wow. Really?
Well, I would take them out.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't like take notes.
I didn't remember that. And tell me more.
No. I mean, it was just one of those things where I don't know. I just wanted to remember certain things that you would tell me.
Oh,
you know?
my gosh.
Yeah.
You were methodical.
Yeah, I was intentional. And so, anyways, let's fast forward to me moving up to Seoul because in February of 2019, I decided to move up to Seoul and began my freelance career. And I needed a place to stay. And I remember I was looking around like different neighborhoods in Seoul, and you had recommended me.
I recommended my realtor.
Yeah, a realtor for me to check out, and I really just went to 2 different realtors from my recollection. And the first one I went to was the one that she had recommended, and long story short, I ended up getting a place because I liked the place, the place that you see me filming. I ended up liking the place that is really close to where she lives, like in her neighborhood.
Right down the street.
Yeah, so, and I didn't intentionally like I think it's too creepy if I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna move. Like, no, it wasn't I really liked the place.
It was a nice place.
Yeah, so I ended up moving there, and I remember my first day of moving into Seoul, because she was already aware of like me moving. I remember I'd put all my stuff in the apartment, and it was like right before 7.
Yeah.
I think I get a text message from you saying like, where are you, or something like that.
Yes.
Are you
I said,
home?
where are you? Are you home? And you said, yes. I said, come downstairs in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then you were like, okay. And so I was coming home from wherever I was. I was pulling up out of the subway, and then you came downstairs, and we met pretty much right at the right time.
Yeah.
As I was coming up, and you were coming down, and then you looked at me, and I looked at you, and I said, welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, that was it. That was like just to welcome me. And I remember thinking, okay, at that point, because I didn't know if she really liked me or if I was like hardcore friend zoned. I didn't know. But I was like, okay, I think she probably has a thing for me.
Oh, that was the moment.
Yeah. I mean, that was sort of like one of the confirmations. And so, here's the funny thing though. All right, so I get the grand welcome from you, but I think almost every single day after that, and this is in February, every single day after that, we pretty much hung out, or we went to cafes, we did work together.
It was.
We met up.
Every day.
We barely missed a day, I think.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So, we did this for a good minute. I remember we hung out on Valentine's Day.
So Valentine's Day, let me tell this story.
Okay,
so it's about February, he moves up, Valentine's Day is only a few days away, right? And I was thinking, what's gonna happen on Valentine's Day? And actually another guy did ask me out on Valentine's Day. You know who it is. And so there was another guy floating around at this time. It was pretty dramatic, but Valentine's Day, so I knew he had asked me already, and I have a feeling, or I wanted you to ask me out, but I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything. And the day was going by, and I was like, okay, I don't want to hang out with the other guy, and I also wish you would call me. And then you shoot me a message about 6 p.m. You took your sweet time, and you messaged me about like 6 p.m. I was waiting with my phone.
Really?
Yeah, because this is Valentine's Day. And then you were just like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, being busy. And then you were just like, what? Are you hungry? Do you want to get some dinner? And I was like, oh, dinner. Maybe he doesn't know what day it is. So we went out to get some...
I was being so safe.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. We went to Reggae Chicken. Remember this little chicken place in the neighborhood. And then we were there. It wasn't very good. It was like, okay, right?
Sorry.
It has very high reviews. It wasn't that great. Oh, sorry, Reggae Chicken. And then after that, it was kind of like, oh, what are we gonna do? Are we going separate ways, something. And then I think I suggested one of my favorite little, it's one of my secret bar spots in the neighborhood, and he said, let's go there. And so we did.
Yeah.
And we went there and we chatted it up
until 2 a.m.
And nice cocktails.
2 a.m.
Oh,
remember?
and then the song.
Oh yeah.
That's also significant. Do you know My Cherie Amour by Stevie Wonder? Well, you know it. You guys. And you sent me that song on Valentine's Day.
Right.
You sent it to me in the daytime.
Oh yeah, that was...
Because we were sharing music back and forth. And then on Valentine's Day, you shares with me My Cherie Amour by Stevie Wonder. And then we go to the bar, and they play the song for us.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so that to me, it wasn't like an official date by any stretch, but I think in my mind, that was sort of like, this is like kind of a date.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty much a date,
yeah.
I think. So, yeah.
That was so sweet.
That was a good time. So, again, I mean, we can go on for probably days about like all the things that we did up until the point we started dating, but just so that we can kind of, I guess, get to the point where we started dating. I mean, we had a couple of like significant moments of, I guess, hanging out. Like we did a Michael Jackson extravaganza day.
I called it Michael Jackson extravaganza.
Right, and this is again before we officially started dating, because I'm such a fan of Michael Jackson and she hasn't really been exposed to the goodness of MJ. She knew who he was, but that was about it. So we literally set aside a whole day for me to school her from the very beginning of J5 all the way up until Michael Jackson for Winning Pass, you know. So we ended up doing that,
and that was the very first time I put my head on your shoulder, if you remember that.
Yeah, we were at Veranda Cafe and we had a little like private like,
it has like a love
booth.
seat.
Yeah,
it's a little couch you can sit in area. And I don't know, my head was so heavy.
That's right. And I remember like I was like freaking out on the inside. Oh my god,
really?
oh my god. I was like, score. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, so at that point I was like 100% certain that obviously we liked each other. Yeah, I don't know when that was. That was probably like in March or something like that.
March.
So anyways, we had a lot of little instances like that, and the day that we officially started dating, I just simply invited you over to my place and we watched a movie.
Did we watch a movie?
I think so.
I think I was cooking at your house a lot because I didn't have a nice kitchen. So you had like the kitchen island.
Right.
So I cooked there.
Yeah, so she cooked for me because y'all know I don't cook. And so, yeah, I think it was just kind of towards the end of the night.
You asked me out though, and I said no the first time. Do you recall?
No.
It was on the same day, but you asked me out.
Really?
You said, "Will you be my girl?" And I was like, because
really?
Yeah, because I
think I blocked that out.
I didn't want to be somebody's property. You know what I mean? Like prior relationship, I felt like I was somebody's girlfriend, not me. So I think I told that to you actually multiple times previous. Like I don't want to be somebody's something. You know, I like you and me to be equals, and we choose to be together. I didn't want to like be owned in any form or way. And so I think you really kind of made me feel secure in that you would never feel like, you know, I was your property.
Right.
Yeah. And so it took a while for me to learn to trust that and accept that. And so the first time when you asked me, I was like, I don't want to be someone's girlfriend. Can I just be some like friend, but we're like special?
I think I remember that.
Yeah. And then you were like, no, I don't feel comfortable with that.
It's like friends with benefits or something? Like,
yeah,
what
and then
is
we talked a little bit more, and then
Okay.
and I said, okay, ask me again, and then you did, and I said yes.
On April 15th, 2019. Yeah, and from there, we haven't looked back since.
Nope, and it's been pretty good.
For all you guys that were curious out there and wanted part 2, that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's any takeaway you can get from this is that no matter where you are in the world and no matter what your previous relationship was like and how much trauma you might have gone through, you know what? I do believe you can find love again. I really believe it.
Sure. Yeah, and that applies to really both of us in our situations in our past. So, yeah, keep the hope and the faith.
And find the love.
Alright guys, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also let us know what you thought of our little story in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on social media. And for those of you guys out there that want to support us on Patreon, we do have a link in the description below. And for those of you guys that are already supporting us, thank you so much. You're really a big part in helping us do what we do. Alright guys, remember to always seize the day. Peace.
Peace.